to work. So, all right. So, welcome to the Hammer. You've probably never played Hamilton before.
No, I haven't.
No.
No, it's cool.
Are you guys sort of doing different markets for the Gigantour this time?
It definitely appears that way, but I don't know that that's what we were after. I just know that for me, I get on the tour bus and go where it takes me in a way. You know what I mean? Right. So it's kind of cool to get to play like Kingston, Hamilton, places like that we've never played before. So I'm always up for new territory.
Yeah. How 13's great.
Thank you.
It's second record in the band. Was it easier this time?
Yes, yeah. much more relaxed. I just felt much more comfortable in my shoes. I knew kind of like how things would roll a little bit, and just really was able to think about the music a little bit more than other extraneous things.
Right. Change in producers, was it just Andy Sneap not being available this time? So or did you guys just decide to go for something a little different?
Yeah, I think we were kind of looking for something a little bit different, and I don't know that we were looking for anything specifically different, but something different, and Johnny K's name popped up. So.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised as someone who's been a Megadeth fan for a long time, considering, he's known for Disturbed and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Did he have a different approach for you guys at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool to be able to work with Andy Sneap and then now Johnny K, because I'm sure just like with any individual, you always bring your strengths to the table and your views to the table. And, with Sneap, he was so meticulous and exacting about everything. That was awesome to see how that actually comes together and helps make a recording sound the way it is. And with Johnny K, he was very much about the songwriting and the song arrangement and how big the overall recording sounded and how natural it sounded. So it was kind of cool to see that as well.
Right. Now, Mustaine Music Studios, is that basically Vic's garage under a different name, or is that a different studio?
I really don't know. I mean, it was called Vic's Garage, and now it's called Mustaine Studio. So,
but it was the same place.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Make it a little bit easier, I guess, too, when you guys can sort of have the comfort of being able to record in your own studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. My kid told me to ask this.
Okay.
Whose idea was it to dress like Universal Monsters on Jimmy Kimmel for Halloween?
I don't know whose idea it initially was. I think, Jimmy Kimmel probably put it out there in the beginning, hey, do you guys want to dress up as costumes? And then I think Dave was the one who wanted to do, more classic monster movie kind of monsters instead of, just whatever.
I think it was such a brilliant move for Halloween.
Yeah,
totally unexpected. I'm sure it caught a lot of people by surprise.
That's cool.
The internet the next day was all like, wow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's kudos to you guys. I mean, a lot of people think that a lot of metal bands won't go and do something like that, and I just thought it was a ballsy move.
Cool. Thanks.
So, as the lead guitar player, how do you approach recording some of these songs that were written before your time in the band, like some of the 13 songs? What kind of creativity do you have towards soloing?
Right. Well, it depends on the songs that you're talking about a little bit. But I know, the first thing I do is, talk to Dave about it a little bit and see exactly what he wants to do as far as the arrangement.
Yeah.
Make sure, is it staying the same? Is it changing? Right. And then within those confines, okay, now, what kind of vibe do you want from the solo? Do you want it to take on the same melody? Do you want it to be something a little bit different? And then so once we talk about that, then I'll start experimenting with it a little bit.
How many songs from 13 are in the current set list?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Does it change? Or do you guys have a constant set list that you're doing for the tour?
No, it does change, but like the songs that we've been playing off of 13 have been constant so far.
Okay, so it would be older songs that you might decide to bring out.
Yeah, and rotate in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you guys are playing, like an hour and a half, so you probably like 14, 15 songs?
Yeah, somewhere right around there, 15 or 16 maybe. Somewhere in
So
there,
how many songs would you guys have ready for a tour then?
Oh, wow. I mean,
Sorry, I hope I'm not asking
it could
too
be a
anal.
lot, but it kind of depends. You know, what it's been lately is we kind of get a general set list going first, and then we'll expand from there. So once we start touring, if we know we want to add in more songs, then we'll go over and we'll make sure they're ready. So it would probably be somewhere in the range. I would say at any one time we could probably pull out 25, maybe 30 songs.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's more than I thought actually. But I mean, it makes sense. You guys know those songs and
Yep.
tour a lot, so.
Yeah.
So I know you're a 7-string player,
Right.
but you don't play 7-string at all in Megadeth.
No.
Just stay traditional.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Any chance of that ever coming in, or is that just something you do for Chris Broderick solo stuff outside?
Well, you know, I love the 7-string, you know. I love the range that it brings and the way you can arrange things on the fretboard, you know, even if you don't utilize the extra low end or anything like that.
Yeah.
It makes fingering certain things much more easy and dynamic. But for Megadeth, you know, it's not really needed because everything is written with the 6-string in mind. So,
Right.
Yeah, so we keep it pretty traditional.
Okay. Another one my kid noticed, you switch from Ibanez to Jackson,
Right.
and you now have the CB Soloist.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the first time that you've had your own signature guitar?
Yes.
And what did they offer you to make you decide to change or to go?
They basically, you know, offered to make me the guitar that I always wanted and make sure that anybody who wanted to own it could own it as well. And that's something that no other manufacturer, including Ibanez, would even come close to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you're happy with it, obviously?
Absolutely, yeah. And they, you know, they've done a great job, you know, not only with that end of it, but also with, you know, trying to get the word out there and let people see it and just making it visible, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy to find on the internet.
Cool.
So, so this winter you did the holiday guitar camp with Alex Skolnick.
Yep.
How did that idea happen? Are you friends with Alex?
Yeah. You know, Alex and I had toured together on, first time was Priest Feast, and then we'd done some other North American tours with Testament, you know, and Megadeth.
Yeah.
And so I talked with him, hung out with him, you know, during those times and stuff. But really what had happened as far as that came about, you know, it was the last thing on my mind. But then, you know, somebody came to me, at least at the time, and said, hey, how would you like to do a guitar retreat, you know? And they're doing this thing up in northern New York. And how would, you know, do you think you'd be interested in that? And, you know, we were thinking about getting Alex Skolnick. And I was like, yeah, I think it's a good combination. Him with his jazz roots and me with my classical guitar background, you know?
Yeah. So would you guys be going jazz, classical, and rock stuff?
Yes, yeah. It's kind of like we did a little bit of that, and then, you know, when you have formal training that way, it inundates every type of playing that you do.
Right.
You know, it's not like as soon as I step on stage and play some thrash, you know, all of that knowledge that I've learned and paid a lot of money for goes out the window.
No, and it's obvious by the way you play
that
you incorporate things. You're actually, I would say that you and Skolnick are probably my two favorite thrash guitarists.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
It's kind of an honor for me to talk to you, but that's besides. So the last 12 months, two bands that figured really prominently on the road that led you to being in Megadeth ended. So how do you feel about the dissolution of Jag Panzer and, I guess to a lesser degree, Nevermore, who you used to play live with?
Well, you know, the whole Jag Panzer thing, you know, it saddens me because I know Mark and Rickard really well and those guys, and, you know, Mark put just a ton of work into everything that band was, and the same with Rickard too, and you know, it was one of those ones where it was like they wanted to make it happen, and it just couldn't quite continue. But I do think you'll see them doing things again.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I first found out about you through Jag Panzer. You know, being a fan from you know early in the, or I guess the reading was late 90s, 96, 97, whatever it was. And I mean, my friends had all had Ample Destruction back in the day. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And as far as Nevermore goes, that needed to happen, really, quite honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, things were coming apart slowly but surely, and what happened needed to happen, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So if an A&R came up to you and wanted a Chris Broderick solo album, would you go the Jeff Loomis route, or would you do something more like instrumental, or would you go for a classical record?
Well,
have
I
you
think,
thought about that?
If you look at Jeff's first solo CD, it was pretty much all instrumental. So
Right.
Yeah.
I guess he's just touring with a singer now.
Well, yeah, he's going to be releasing his next solo CD. So
Right.
yeah, with a vocalist. So I don't know. I have so much instrumental material, so much guitar stuff that I've written. I suppose the first thing I would do is finish composing that,
Yeah.
and then see what it left room for.
Are you still? I know on your website, I don't know how up to date it is, but it says you still do some online teaching.
Yep.
Do you still do that when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not on the road? Yeah.
Yep.
How many students would you take at a time comfortably?
Usually I maintain about 50 students.
Oh, wow.
A week. So
you're busy then.
yeah, definitely.
And something you can just do from your home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or almost anywhere. When I've had to travel for non-tour related things, as long as I know my internet connection is good, I'll be able to maintain my lessons.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Hope you enjoy the show.